So do not adjust your TV screen, your monitor. We are painting in black and white, air quotes, black and white. There's a saying in art that value does all the hard work, color gets all the credit. Maybe you've heard this term or this saying before, but we are going to paint. And you guys are going to see me paint in black and white, but I'm going to paint in what is called arbitrary color selection. So I will be picking colors not based on their actual hue. I will be picking them based on their value. So this has a darker value than this. And I will be painting this figure with no consideration for what the actual color of anything is. Purely what is like the value of each tone. Okay? So, and then at the end, after I've finished the like sketch, right, I will show you guys what the end result looks like, and you can decide how it works, if it works or not. Okay, so you can also see here I have Henry, from Neko Galaxy. This is the artwork, right? The concept art. I will be ignoring the concept art in terms of color, but using the general values that I see in the artwork as the basis for my actual sketch. So it'll be somewhat representational. I'll do my own interpretation, but somewhat representational of what I see, but not in terms of color. I hope that makes sense. So I will leave him somewhere around. But I'm going to just start selecting colors from dark to light, right? So let's start with some dark values. This is pretty dark. That basically looks like black, right? We've got some different values here. You can see in terms of values, like these two are about the same. This one's lighter. This one's almost black, right? So I'm going to start from what looks like black to you guys. Might need a little more than that, but I don't want you guys to see the names on the bottles because they're not important. Look, they're getting lighter. Yeah. Just grabbing a bit of everything. How's this one look? Pretty dark? About the same as this guy. Don't look at the name, it's not important. We've got like a pretty big gap here. Probably need something in between. That looks like something in between. No, the colorblind class is a little different. Let's see what else we got. What else? I'm just grabbing stuff. Okay. How's this one look? Quite light, almost white, yeah. We'll put it near the whites. And ooh, I think that's probably pretty good. I will tell you that this is the only one I'm going to tell you. This is a proper black. All right. Is there a proper white? I don't know. You'll have to find out. Might be an arbitrary white. So I want to start probably with the shadows. So I'm going to start something like this. And I'm going to try and avoid doing too much mixing at first. I'm just going to like start selecting tones. Okay. Hi, DOMs. So grabbing a lighter tone here. Wayne, hello. Okay, now I've got some light values. No, I've got to do some shadows on the face. But that shadow value is similar on the face, the skin, right? The skin is lighter than the jacket, yeah. So the lights of the jacket are a similar value to the, or the shadows of the face are a similar value to the lights of the jacket, right? This one I am going to mix. I want like a nice light color here of this tone. right? So this value now, see, appears darker than this still. I want like a nice light version of this guy. You can see now that these are pretty similar in tone. I'm going to mix one of these. I want something in between these colors. I mean values. Yes, this is a filbert brush. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to not like mix or like blend the colors too much. Okay, so I'm trying to just like block in values here. Based off what I see in the artwork. I'm going to get something in between these two. All right, what do I need? I need some of this. Something to represent like a highlight. I'm a normal person about color who is not at all guessing the hue based on how the paint dilutes, just privately so I can check my work later. What? I don't quite understand. I watched the first episode of G-Quux also. It was pretty good. I enjoyed all the callbacks to the original series. All right, so based off the artwork we have, we need something in between, right? Looking at the values now, it's like kind of working, but probably need something lighter in a few areas. It's a small figure, so I'm probably going to switch brushes like pretty soon, but give an idea. All right. Something with a little bit more of a point on it that I can start working. So yeah, basically the whole idea of this exercise is to sort of begin to ignore a bit the exact tonality, right? The hue, and instead try and start to like see things more in terms of value, right? I do want something in between these. All right, what do we see, right? General shape and stuff is starting to work, but I think the skin could be more pale, like the side of his head, right? The sculpt is pretty sharp on this guy, so you probably notice like a few things right off the bat, like he's got a bit more light on his face, the side of the head's a bit more in light, so probably want to adjust some of the color here, maybe a little bit more light on his forehead, right? Or not the color, sorry, the value. I want to adjust the value. All right. What else do we need? We need some light here on his eye. All right, general value wise, making some sense, yeah. What do we kind of see? The light could probably come over still on his forehead a little bit more. We get a little light on like this eye and this cheek, so. Yeah, I'm gonna get to the jacket too. I actually want another color for, I want to, just because I feel like it. Again, arbitrary color selection. There's no exact tone here that I'm like, oh, I need this to be this color. I'm just playing with the colors. Andromeda, hello. No, I'm not considering. I mean, I'm purely using color as just because, right? So this probably looks quite dark at the moment, but if I thin it out, you can see that it's not. I'm going to add this to lighten it up and create a new tone for me. So this is kind of in line with these ones, but it's a different color on the spectrum, right? Thanks, Andromeda Nimbo. So you can see that did something, but it wasn't a whole lot. Let's push the value on this a little bit. That feels a little better. Still dark, right? This is working as like a highlight on his dark jacket. Okay. But we can also use this as like a darker sort of tone on the face and parts. All right, something along those lines. Going to create a little bit of like a bounced rim light here. It's in this part, you can probably see it a little, right? But it's quite subtle. I'm going to use this tone as that sort of rim light. Now I might need it to come around a little bit more. Wrap it a little bit further around. Okay, you can see it is lighter, but I might need to push it even a little bit more. All right, let's clean up some of this area a little. His mustache. Mechanical jaw thing. Now we have some value separation here with his hairline. You can definitely see that it's like darker, right? Something like that, see? The gray. And just because I have this value, right, I'm going to use it elsewhere. Now on the actual sculpt, his cheekbone here is like quite sharp. It's pretty recessed. I don't want to overdo that. I am going to tone it down a little. So you can see just how dark that tone appears. So it's like, that's too much, right? If I showed it to you in color, you might be like, yeah, okay, it sort of makes sense. But clearly from a perspective of value, it's like way too dark, right? This is what I mean by getting the value right can be really important here. Yeah, something like that feels more natural. Hello, Forge 835. How are you? Okay, now I need something really light. Really start to like punch in some of these highlights. I'm also going to like soften a little bit of the shape of his face because, like I said, it is quite angular compared to the artwork. I think the artwork's pretty good, but the sculpt is quite nice, but it is really angular compared to the drawing, right? So I'm trying to re-sculpt the face a little bit here with just value interpretation, right? So I can sort of reshape the face a little. Let me get that hairline. Again, I'll clean this stuff up, but yeah, it's super angular. I don't know if he's supposed to be actively inhaling or not. All right, where are we missing some light? Probably like here on his nose. Parts of his nostrils are a bit off in terms of value right now, so fix some of this guy. Yeah, his cigarette is hanging pretty low in his mouth. Speaking of the cigarette. All right. Now, what else? What else? Still have to do his like pouch thing and more details, but I want to get the face kind of where I want. Let's put some eyebrows on him. Okay. They're not perfect at this stage, but I'm not going for perfect. I'm going for just getting the values right. All right. If I see what appears as black in the drawing, I'm painting it what appears as black on the figure. Okay. Do you see what it looks like black in his ears? Not really, right? There's nothing that looks as pure black as like some of these areas, right? So like his eyebrows, there's a little bit of what looks like pure black just here in his eye, right? But nothing that's like super, super dark, right? But that looks quite dark where I put that down. Even this is probably too dark for here. I'm gonna mix just a little bit of this lighter value in, right, to get those lower eyelids looking closer to that dark value, but not. Okay. What do we need? We need something here to kind of bridge that gap. Is that too dark? It might be. That's fine. We can come back to one of our previous colors. So now looking at it, I feel like the side of his nose is too dark. Lighten that up. Also feel like I don't have the highlight that I want in the on the bridge of the nose. All right, do we see anything on here that looks as white as like the highlight on his nose? Right, like probably, so we've got like this and this, right? In terms of value. This is maybe close, right? These are quite light right here, but this is not super light. It is pretty light. This is maybe getting close in value. These are like super, really white, right? So they're actually lighter than what I just put down. So I need even more. Now what do I feel? This is probably too dark over here still. Right, let's look at a color for the side of the head, right? This difference is pretty subtle, right? This is pretty light, right? You can see that one I just put on top of it is actually slightly darker than what it really is. This may be closer to this value. You guys see that? So this is close to right here, but this is actually lighter than what I just put down on top. Well, how is it for color right here? It's too light for there, yeah? So this works well for kind of around here. right, what else do we need to fix? We need to fix some of the shape, right? Something like that. I'm also a little of that core shadow. A little bit more light. Here. Not that dark in the artwork. Have I finished? No, I will show you. I'm still working on this sleeve. I've been dealing with other stuff, but yeah, I'm still working on the sleeve. It's a lot. Look how he looks in black and white. Oh, it's so noir. All right, let's keep mixing. See, now that's maybe a little closer to the like very short. It does lighten a little bit as it comes down, so it almost blends into his skin here. You guys have any idea what this is going to look like when it's in color? I'm going to go with no, you don't. It could be anything. It could even be a boat. How does that look there? Yeah, that looks the right value. Too bright, well, even that's quite a dark value. It's clearly too bright for his mustache, you know. So I've got to darken this back down. All right, let's look at the light here and the neck. Yeah, it's actually just normal skin tones, you guys. Something like that for some highlights, but look, that's way too bright already, isn't it? So maybe something more like this would work better. When I remove the color, right? We remove the color from the equation. It's much easier to see when some of these, what's clearly supposed to be a dark material, like a black material, appears too bright in context, because now all you have is the value sketch to go off of. Yeah, that's actually the huge trick on all you guys, is that the whole thing is just, these are all black and whites. Yeah, I just put a bunch of various grays on the palette. Aha. Gotcha. How's that? That looks too dark, right? Need something. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it. My hair is so luminous right now. He's got a little bit of a light under his nose. Didn't mean to get it on the mustache, but that's okay. Easy enough to fix. All right, so I still need to do this pouch thing. I don't know what to do it. We're just gonna pick a tone. I think I want it to be in the artwork. It's like even more black than the jacket. So I guess we'll do that. Maybe I need to lighten the overall value of the jacket then. How's that look next to the other one? Yeah, it's definitely lighter, right? That means I'll need to push this other light some more. All right, so just sort of filling in the values there, and then we'll go something quite dark for these. Yep, your CRT is do not adjust your television set. We are in black and white. Intentionally, because I don't want you guys asking, why did you pick that color, or why are you doing that? I just want you looking at the value, because the answer is, I'm not thinking about the color. I'm just selecting based on the value. I just picked color out of the palette that I thought had the vibes I'm going for. You know, I'm painting by vibes right now. This one? Which one? This one? This one? This one? This one? On my other left, this one? This one. Think this is yellow? Maybe. Maybe I need another color. Maybe I need one more, you know? No, I don't think I'm going to do the tattoos. What does that look like? What What does that appear as? Probably looks about similar in value to this one right here, yeah? Yep. Do a little Kirby. Was that a hint? You think you know? Could have been. Could be completely throwing you off. Rich Erickson, hello, welcome. Thanks for following. And Lunum, hello. Carigo, hi. Thanks for all the new followers. Welcome in. Hope you all are doing well. All right, how's he look on a black background real quick? See if my light is right, huh? All right, there, yeah, okay. How do we feel about the values so far? Looking all right? I think it works all right. Okay. I will take maybe a hot take. It looks good. I think you're getting, oh, okay. Thanks. Yeah, nah, yeah. Yeah, nah. Nah, yeah. All right. I will be right back. I'm going to take a quick break to do what this guy's doing, and I will be back in a few minutes where we are painting this guy. Henry. We're going to start to get a little more refined now. Okay. So, is it clear to you guys? I mean, I know I talk about like the importance of value and shapes a lot. Is this making it more clear, like the importance of shapes, right? And like material contrast, right? Obviously, you don't have all of the context. But you should be able to see through just the values. What I mean when I say like, oh, like this cheek is in light, thus it needs to appear in light, right? So like before, and I'm making some adjustment now, right? Like the shape of his cheekbone was too defined. It was too sharp, so I can reduce that shadow with a lighter value. Or it's possible this seems totally insane, but hopefully not, considering. Oh yeah, we got to do the Squidmar explosion grand reveal. So one that might be tough to see, right, is this like connection to the mouth here, right? And that connection is like the light on the upper chin, right? And then that sort of connects there. So I want to make sure I get that. All right, now let's push the value here a little bit to get this shape under the eyelid. where else? What else do we need? Hello. Den of Crows, welcome. How are you? Make sure I get that hairline right. It is sculpted. It's a little hard to see. All right, so I want to make sure I get this. So see that value's off, right? Because I need to go a little darker here in order to make that hairline a little more clear there. And then it basically disappears as it gets closer to down here. Good morning. All right. Let's see. Grab this guy. Make sure I get that hairline nice and clean. Or he slicks it back, right? It's like separated from his natural hairline, right? The shaved part and the longer part. Need to clean up the black there. Yeah, apparently the original, who was it? Someone on Star Trek was painted like a weird color. Who was supposed to be green on Star Trek? It is not long now, yeah. There's a character on Star Trek that was supposed to be on the original, right? That they used they painted them red or something, even though they were supposed to be green, just because the value picked up better on camera. I don't remember. In the black and white seasons I'm talking about. This is not quite right here. This is a little too dark. See this spot here on his forehead, right? The bridge of his nose. So we need to adjust that. You guys almost ready to see this? I think I've just about... No, you don't want to see it in color? Okay, I'll leave it. Only do it for the thumbnail. I'll leave it blurred for the thumbnail. Now I'm going to show it before the end of the stream. I'm going to paint his eyes, but I think I want to do... So the eyes are fine in the original. I think we're going to have some fun, though. I think we're going to change it up. So he's got like white eyes in the actual drawing. I think I'm gonna give him creepy cybernetic eyes. It's a little more fun. Thin out his eyebrows a little bit on that section. Hi, Richard. Thanks for the Prime sub. Appreciate it. Okay. Couple small little adjustments here and there. It needs to be slightly darker. Not too much. I don't want it to run down into that area. I wanted to adjust that shape just a little bit. Some 20s music. And I dance with my girl. Give me a kiss to build a dream on. Like that 20s music. Like Fallout music. Give me a kiss to build a dream on. All right, I want to fix the ear a little bit. And then I think we are in black and white because we are ignoring the color. The color is not important here. We are looking at the value. I said it earlier, but the saying basically goes, color, value does all the hard work, color gets all the credit. Okay, so we are focusing on value right now, and we are trying to ignore we are focusing on value, ignoring the color. I'm just selecting color. Okay. I've got a bunch of colors on my palette, mixing other hues and tones, creating something I think is hopefully interesting. And we will see what you guys think here in just a minute, because I'm pretty happy with where the face is. Obviously, I think like the jacket and stuff needs more work. But I think the face, I mean, this side could be more refined, but this side I think is pretty close to where I'd like it to be. Oh, I'm committing crimes. There's all kinds of crimes being committed right now. This is called arbitrary color selection. There is a famous French painter. I'm going to try and say her name. I'm sorry if I get it wrong, but I believe it is Françoise Neely. She's a portrait painter, and she paints in arbitrary color a lot. I apologize if I mispronounced her name. If anyone would like to link to her work, feel free, and maybe you'll have somewhat of an idea of what's about to happen. If there is an E at the end of Françoise? Okay, Françoise. I can't pronounce French. It's impossible. Even if I get it right, it's still wrong. Croissant. Yeah, so you should be able to have like a pretty good idea of the values here. Let's before we, I know I've been teasing the color here for a bit, but just before we paint the color or show the color, let's paint the eyes. Give him some life? Question mark. All right. That's the color I'm going with. Where's my glasses? I got some annoying text. Oh, it's a hair. There's a hair under my paint. I got rid of it. Let me fix that real fast. Couldn't see it before. All right. This guy. Me on camera? Hold on. Let's do this a little bit. All right. There. Good. On camera? Yes. Okay. Give him some highlights in his eyes. There, now he's got some creepy cybernetic eyes, I guess. All right, you guys ready for color reveal? The timestamp is 1:45-ish. All right, so I know for my... All right, 3, 2, 1. So, what do we think, right? You can see now that the color, right? Color is not so important, yeah? Look what I did on the card, by the way, when I was matching values on the card. Well, really, he has like dark purple hair, but yeah. Matching values on the card, right? Let's go back. Oh. So, you should be able to see, right? Like, this is what I was getting at when I'm like, the color, he looks better on black and white, by the way. Or he looks better on a black background. I think, anyways. Winkali, hello. Welcome. Thanks for following. But yeah, the color, right, is not as important as the value. If we consider him in color, he looks crazy. This is what I was talking about, where color gets all the credit. You guys go, wow, no one cared when I was like, I mean, people cared, right? But it's not like, oh, wow, your volume interpretation is so good and the blah, 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 right? No one was like, oh, way to nail the value on that node, that highlight on his forehead or the side of his cheek or anything. Oh, way to make good material contrast between the neck and the shirt and the jacket. But I do this and everybody's like, wow, right? But fundamentally, this is more important, okay? You get this right, yeah? You get the values right, then you can do whatever the heck you want with the color, right? Does this make sense? Yeah. Still believable. Sure, it's crazy, but you accept that he's a human, right? It's just... Is that forehead highlight a darker color than the shirt? The forehead highlight is brighter than the shirt. Yeah, I mean, my palette is literally just like just random colors, right? I just picked stuff that I just looked in the box and went like, okay, this is dark, this is light. I grabbed some orange, some blue, right? But the idea, right, comes across, okay? Now, sure, I could come in and I could do more details and I can refine things more, and I'll probably continue this sketch for a bit. but at least like, yeah, you get the point of like the face and stuff in black and white. Everything sort of reads correctly. Okay. Sorry, you can watch it on YouTube. I will upload both the black and white version, and then probably in the description I'll link the like an unlisted version of like the whole video in color. So I'll post the video twice. One is like what the stream was, and then if you want to watch me paint the whole, do the whole process like actually in color, you can watch it that way, right? But yeah, I think it makes sense from an exercise standpoint. If you do the exercise, I don't know, maybe I'll come up with a hashtag, or you guys can help me come up with a hashtag or something, and we can, if you guys want to try this exercise, right, you can try it for yourself. I think it's fun to learn to see value as opposed to being so focused on what colors, right? Calu. I'll probably play around with it some more, and like I said, I'll probably develop the sketch a little more, at least to get you know, to a what I think is like a presentable standpoint, something to show, you know, like work on his hair and maybe try and refine this like rim light some more and stuff. But I think it's pretty fun. Okay, so I would continue, but I think you guys, I know it's a shorter stream, but yeah, we just do a sketch on the face and sketch, or more, little further than a sketch on the face, but at least get to see all the value sketch on everything, and then pushing the effect a little further. Yep. So let's see. Oh, here, this one's for the YouTube. Yeah, let's go back into black and white. No, I'm just kidding. I'll stay in color. Thanks. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, leave a comment, blah blah blah. Yeah, see that. Bye.